$147 million earmarked toward expanding the Emerald Trail in Jacksonville. And now we know why Jacksonville was awarded that money and just how competitive it was to get the grant. Yesterday, I talked with U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. He told me he's optimistic it will help reconnect and re-engage area communities.
I believe in the power of this kind of investment to improve quality of life and through good community engagement along the way, empower some of the same communities and neighborhoods that were left out or disempowered by some of the processes and decisions of the past. This was a very competitive process, and we got applications from all over the country. One of the reasons why Jacksonville won this very competitive $147 million grant is the history and the vision for the future. We know that when I-95 and I-10 went in the way that they did, that really decimated some neighborhoods, disconnected a lot of largely black neighborhoods in Jacksonville. And while those decisions were made a long time ago, people are living with the effects of it every day. We have a chance to do something different and better right now by contributing to these 15 miles of the Emerald Trail that will create new, more convenient, and importantly, safer ways for people on foot and on bicycles to access some of those critical services, whether we're talking about medical care or getting to a job or just getting to a grocery store or just getting to a loved one. The whole point of transportation is it's supposed to connect, and this is a chance to connect rather than divide with those federal dollars.
Are we also talking about jobs and health care and more?
Absolutely. Your economic mobility really depends in a lot of ways on your physical mobility. If you don't have a car or you are required to have an unaffordable commute, just because your city isn't laid out in a way that supports you, your opportunities shrink. And by the same token, your opportunities expand, even if you don't move from the home that you're in, when the infrastructure around that home becomes more inclusive and helps link you to where you need to get. And so just as we're investing in transit and we're investing in better roads, investing in a trail like this helps more people safely get to where they need to go.
Pedestrian deaths are on the rise here and are a big problem. Will this help mitigate that?
We believe it will, and that safety element is one of the reasons why this project rose to the top of a very competitive pile. When we're talking about bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure, that's not just ornamental or recreational, it can be life-saving because it means there are safer ways for people who are on foot or on two wheels to get to where they're going. We face a crisis of roadway deaths in this country. It doesn't get enough attention. It's about as many lives lost every year as to gun violence, and it doesn't have to be this way.
Jacksonville is the largest city by landmass in the contiguous United States. And, we live in a society where people just aren't connected. Can this go a long way into connecting neighborhoods and bringing people together?
Absolutely. When you have a large, spread out city like Jacksonville, it creates both opportunities and challenges when it comes to transportation. But the bottom line is we want to create more choices for people. Many of our cities have become so car-oriented that they actually punish you for trying to get around any other way. But we don't think you should always have to bring a ton of metal with you everywhere you're going. We want those who are using cars to have a safe and convenient way to get to where they're going. But we don't want you to be forced into a car or into a roundabout drive when you're trying to get to a place that's within walking distance. There's just never been a safe way to do it. If I-95 or I-10 stands between you and where you're headed, even if it's only a half-mile distance, that is prohibitive, and it means more time and money behind the wheel. We can change that, and I applaud the vision of the Emerald Trail for creating more ways for people across that very large spread out city of Jacksonville to be better connected to neighborhoods, to jobs, to opportunities, to shopping, and most importantly, to each other.
We live in a political world these days where we have a do-nothing Congress. Nothing seems to be getting accomplished. This money is now becoming available. And, things have been very stagnant. Finally, there's going to be some movement. And this money can be put to good use in a city like Jacksonville, Duval County, where things can finally be changed.
We think so. You know, when we got here and when President Biden took office, a lot of commentators mocked the idea that you could get a big infrastructure package done. After all, the last administration had declared that they were going to have infrastructure week and do an infrastructure package. It never quite happened. And they said, you'll never get anything done, especially on a bipartisan basis. But President Biden really believes that we can do big things together. And it's why in negotiating this infrastructure package, he remained committed to that bipartisan approach. And sure enough, even in today's divided Washington, we had a number of Republicans willing to cross the aisle, sit down with Democrats, work with me, work with President Biden and leaders across this administration to get this thing done. And now we're seeing the results of it. These dollars coming to communities like Jacksonville through that bipartisan infrastructure package. I wish we could take that same approach to solve more of the policy challenges in front of us as a country, because so often that bipartisan cooperation is the only way to actually get results.